Most motorcycle stories are told in American accents by people who are cowboys on steel horses. Here on this tiny island called England, we are rockers, mods and hipsters. Now let's explore motorcycle culture from a British perspective. This tale will come to you from some historical facts and some opinions of a very individual insight into this world. In my opinion, motorcycle riders come in a few forms. You've got the main dealer matching bike, boots, jacket, all branded to tell you, the ordinary person on the street, who that person is loyal to. Then you've got the 1%ers, the three-piece patch-wearing guys who live by their rules and only by their rules and have huge expectations of respect and loyalty to their club. This loyalty is so deep, it is unshakable, and any outsider wouldn't understand what that means. Then you have greasers, filthy hands and rough thrown together home-built bikes, all from piles of scrap and borrowed parts. These guys are rare in the new generation, as finance and blue payments have faded them out, turning most of you into main dealer types. Then you have the lone rider, the person who isn't interested in you or your bike or any of your stories, and only visits local biker cafes under the duress from a handful of people they keep around and actually like. Then you have the race bike rider. These guys are bloody lethal. They genuinely believe they are as fast as Michael Dunlop, but in reality they're shit, waiting to get smeared up the road and finish up looking like a heavy period in a leather maxi pad. Oh, we mustn't forget the hipsters. After all, they are responsible for reviving the motorcycle culture. As a young man in the 90s, people weren't really buying bikes. It was so unusual to see them fly past. As a child, I'd get really excited and shout bike, bike, bike at my dad. He would, of course, tell me to stop shouting and shut up. By the time the noughties came along, something happened. And that was Kawasaki producing the W650 that looked like an old Triumph. This thing looked so much like an old Triumph that if you rode past one or you drove past one, you would be forgiven for thinking it was a 1960s Triumph. But this motorcycle created the boost that Triumph needed to get into gear and start producing the Bonneville in many different forms. And then all of a sudden, boom, the turned up jeans, brown boots and open-faced cafe racer culture exploded and kick-started motorcycling all over again. That pretty much brings us up to current affairs with where we are at motorcycling at the moment. But the next question we need to ask is, where and how did it start in Britain? For me, the real beginning of British motorcycling enthusiasts starts with Thomas Edward Lawrence. A skittish motorbike with a touch of blood in it is better than all the riding animals on earth because of its logical extension of our faculties and the hint, the provocation to excess conferred by its honeyed, untiring smoothness. In one of his books, he records leaving the military barracks one sunny afternoon, blasting along the road just as a plane is doing a flyby. He races the plane, pushing some poor civilian into a hedge in their motorcar. Just as the plane and the motorcycle approaches the tree line, a courteous nod was shared between rider and pilot. T. Lawrence lost his life riding motorcycles. It was said by the doctor if he had been wearing a helmet, he most likely would have survived. Not long after that, in the UK Parliament, discussions began about helmet laws.